Arc furnaces, Dyson swarms, origins, civics, new robots, a new endgame challenge, 3 new tradition trees, advanced governments, a crisis path, tons of new portraits, a new advisor voice, and kick-ass music. These are some of the features that come with the Machine Age, the next expansion for Stellaris. But is it worth your hard-earned money? I'm just gonna go and kick the door in here. The Machine Age is one, if not the best expansion for Stellaris till date. It sets a new standard on how major expansions should be handled in the future. And I will go so far as to say that it's on par with Utopia, and I really don't say that lightly. The amount of content here actually blows me away, and we may as well just dive into the systems straight away, starting off with the 3 origins. They are mechanically orientated and leverage the new systems to a T. Starting off with cybernetic creed, it lets you understand the weakness of your flesh and crave the strength and certainty of steel and aspire to the purity of the blessed machine. Yes, you can now finally play as the Mechanicus in Stellaris, and it is glorious. They have a completely unique building set, art, and obsess about the glory that is cybernetics. Synthetic fertility starts you off with an empire in decline, nobody is being born anymore, and every death is an irreplaceable loss. Digitization of the mind is the only salvation, and becoming true synthetics and claiming your birthright is the goal of this origin. Also, you cannot really colonize at the start of the game, and your population is actively declining, so good luck with that. Then there is Arc Welders, and they are a type of empire that I've been wanting since the initial edition of Megastructures back in Utopia, and that was over 7 years ago. They are a megastructure-orientated specialist origin that have a terrible starting world in terms of minerals, but they can create insane amounts of resources with their ability of building new arc furnace Kilostructures at the start of the game. This is an incredibly strong start and super fun to play tall with. All 3 origins add unique and interesting ways of playing, which in combination with Civics can make for a really unique and fun playthrough. Speaking of which, the Machine Age comes with 6 new civics. Genetic guides, which lets you actively create new species on planets when colonizing them. Basically, it's the Uplift Saga books distilled into a civic. Then there is natural design, which is the very first civic that directly affects your empire's creation. It gives you additional trait picks and modification points when putting together your species. However, it blocks off any genetic engineering because, let's be honest, after all of that, you are already perfect. Then there is one of my personal favorite, Obsessional Directive. Paperclips. You must make paperclips. Nothing will stop you from making more paperclips. It is your goal. Infinite paperclips. And it's supported with a bunch of cool paperclip specific features that I absolutely adore. This is essentially paperclip heaven because all you do is make a resource that you don't have any use for. It's Obsessional Directive. You had a goal and you've turned your creator species into that goal. Paperclips. Diplomatic Protocols is a envoy civic for robots, something that other empire types already have. More envoys, more diplo weight, etc. It's basically a must if you want to play the politics game. Then there's Tactical Algorithms, which is robot military enclaves. You get better intel, you get a better focus on leaders, you get more combat skills, etc. Then finally there is a Metacorp integration with Augmentation Bazaars, which is basically turning your empire into Arasaka from Cyberpunk, where you convert people into better cybernetic beings, install more chrome into your pops for better output. Speaking of output, there is the new Kilostructures. They are finally here. I've been waiting for them for such a long time. I'm so glad that finally we get megastructures before we get megastructures. Megastructures in general have always irked me because they seem to be projects that would take hundreds of years to start with. A species trying to get a Dyson swarm underway, slowly but steadily building more and more stuff to finally get to the stage where they get a Dyson sphere. And that is what we have now. The new Kilostructures are awesome. There is the aforementioned Dyson Swarm, which you can build. It augments the energy or resource output of a star. Yes, the resource output of a star rather than just energy, which can also work on science, which means that in some cases, some stars can put out 100, 200 science quite easily. On the other end of the spectrum is the Arc Furnace, which generates minerals and alloys in any system it is built. Basically, you build it in space, and any rocky planet will output minerals as well as alloys. It's a massive mining station resource sink, but the amount of resources that you can get out of it. And all of these can, of course, be upgraded, but the most important part is that the aforementioned Dyson Swarm is now the foundation of the Dyson Sphere. In order to get a Dyson Sphere, you need to upgrade a Dyson Swarm, which is an excellent way to do it, and I really hope we're going to see more of this in the future, because it's just such a cool concept that 20 years into the game, you start with a single station to slowly upgrade things to end up in the end game with this glorious shell around a star that is generating thousands of units of energy throughout. It's just wonderful. Then there's the new tradition trees, modularity, and nanotech, and virtuality, which basically lets you further specialize your synthetic empires. For instance, with modularity, you use a living metal to turn your pops into T1000s. I wish I was kidding. Your empire is literally consisting of T1000s. Or T1 millions, depending on how you go on the lore. Then there is nanotech, which turns you into the Great Tempest. Yes, you also get the Great Tempest ships, which of course is awesome. You get to use your nanotech on stuff, and you get a completely nanotech-based economy with buildings that go with it. It is awesome. And then finally, there's virtuality, which removes your need for pop growth completely, as it basically fills all pop jobs instantly as soon as you finish the tree. It is absolutely insane. And if you, for instance, are playing with mods, for instance, with, I don't know, the gigastructural engineering that has infinite districts and stuff like that, yeah, then virtuality is basically a must pick. They do have some negatives, however, and that has to do with empire size and growth. But overall, these two trees are really, really fun and really, really cool. Now, in the past, of course, we've also had some portrait packs being added, and that's cool and all, except this one drops 21 new portraits, and a lot of them are modular as well. The cybernetic portraits, basically, they have to start off with simple pops, and then they just bolt on more Borg stuff as you go. It is awesome. It gives you so many more options to tailor your empire the way you want it, and that's just the way it is. If you want to have more stuff, then this is just the way to go. And then there's the two new ship sets based on machines and cybernetics. We've been wanting a machine ship set for such a long time, and now they've thrown that in, and they threw in a second one as well. Cybernetics and machines. This expansion just keeps on giving. It's also the first time that we have two ship sets being added into a set, which is just blows my mind. Then there is some new music that goes a little bit off the threaded path. It sounds a little bit like this. Yeah, that slaps. Then there is the Cosmogenesis Crisis Path that can turn your empire into a fallen empire at its peak with new technology, new buildings, the ability to build fallen empire ships, structures, its own unique megastructure which uses pops to generate science. It is crazy. It's so fun, and definitely something that you should experience. And finally, the Synthetic Queen, which is a brand new crisis, which is the first one that's been added since Contingency back in Chopek. I believe that was like 1.8 or 1.9. Mind you, we're like in 4.0 now. Basically, it kills off all fallen empires on the map, and yeah, it's far more than shoot alien and receive reward like all the other crises are. No, this one is actually a little bit more interactive, and it has a actually super compelling nanotech menace attached to it that you can negotiate and even side with, which is just awesome. I love everything about this. The sheer amount of content that comes with the Machine Age just makes it one of the must-buys for the game in combination with Utopia. It adds so much flavor. It adds so many options, building and interactions into the game, and it's all just wonderful. It's been such a long time since I played Stellaris from start to finish, but with the addition of the Cosmogenesis Crisis perk, which is the one where you turn into a fallen empire, it adds such a strong final chapter to your playthrough. Finally, I can go ahead and say that I've completed a game of Stellaris without blowing up the entire galaxy. It really makes you feel like you've actually completed the journey. Something that I can't really say about the random "a winner is you" screen that you normally get when the endgame year hits. It's just so refreshing. Machine Age also adds a ton of strong mechanical systems that can be built upon for years, as well as unique ways of playing that really invigorates the game. A good example of these systems are, of course, the Kilostructures. I really hope we're going to see more megastructures of the existing stuff that you can build on throughout the entire game and just slowly build up over time, because it just excites me that you have, as a species, has a project that you can slowly work on through the entire playthrough. Whether or not it is slowly converting everybody into necromorphs, or, you know, building a Dyson sphere slowly over time. Like, the possibilities are endless. For a long time, I was just so worried that Stellaris was reaching the end of its life cycle, but with the Machine Age, it just reignites that furnace of science fiction. It reinvigorates the game, and just after a few lackluster updates, and it's great to see that the direction of the development is just going in towards this particular direction. And I cannot wait to see more of this type of content in the future. Now, Stellaris the Machine Age is available for $25, and or local equivalent is also part of the Season 8 Season Pass, and of course, if you are part of the expansion subscription pass, then it's available there as well. Stellaris the Machine Age, it gets a big thumbs up. It is awesome, and I hope to see more of it in the future.